of weather to tell you about this morning. I mean, few things are prettier in Arizona when then you get a fresh snowfall to start the day in the northern half of our state. This is Flagstaff. Just a little before sunrise this morning, I think it was right around 6 a.m., and you can see there's one lonely set of tracks coming down the street. But early on, so like at 4:30 when we first go on the air on TV, the flakes were still flying. And the thing about the snow in the Flagstaff area, as usual, the higher you go in elevation, the more snow you get. And that's really good news for the folks up at the Snow Bowl Ski Resort. It was a slow start to the season, but boy, things are really looking good for them now. So we go, though, from that to this is what it was looking like late in the day yesterday. Can you believe these pictures? I mean, that is an old-fashioned Arizona snowstorm. It is coming down. I wouldn't say it's coming down at a 90-degree angle, but I mean, it's at least a 45-degree angle. And speaking of degrees, there were plenty of cities in northern Arizona yesterday. They were 20 to 30 degrees colder than they were the day before. We were looking at Window Rock up in the beautiful Navajo lands. Oh, take a look. I like that. Every once in a while when the windshield wipers, the automatic wipers come out, just to make sure the camera doesn't ice up and freeze up and get so crusted with snow you can't see anything. But, Flagstaff it is certainly beautiful when the snow comes down, but you come down the mountain and look at this, would you? This is Sedona. And Linda Johnson, one of our loyal morning viewers up there, was out and about with that morning snowfall yesterday. And the thing, I've been looking at the cameras coming in this morning, and we have seen where the snow is for the most part already melted up there up in that part of the state. They're a couple of thousand feet in elevation lower. But, boy, it is beautiful if you have a camera and you first get out right in that area. So all of these are certainly just spectacular pictures from a day filled with snowy weather in Arizona. And we welcome to the big microphone here, Syleste. Good morning, Syleste. I'm just doing great.
We were wondering if my green dress would be out.
Oh, yeah, let's take a look.
For everybody who's on the
Uh-oh. Oh, it did. Oh, it definitely did, Syleste. All right, now just for entertainment only, Syleste, stand up. Go ahead and stand up. Let's see. Let's just see. Okay. Well, we can kind of make out the bow. But oh, look at this. Oh, there. That's like the perfect solution.
So then I could,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, I usually get to wear green now because I don't do weather as much.
Right.
And then I got to my desk and I thought,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
because behind the scenes, what all of you don't see in the chat box, this
Right.
gorgeous shot that's behind
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
studio behind Ron, that's actually a green screen.
Yes.
And I'll put it up on social, but you can see my dress down below looks like gray,
Yeah.
which actually is not a bad color. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice, actually.
It's actually really great. Okay, so there's Flagstaff. We have the ability to put Flag or Sedona or Phoenix, any of those shots behind us. But we also need to talk about not just the beautiful weather, but boy, making a lot of headlines today is the nasty weather and all the damage that it did across a big midsection of the country. In multiple states, tornadoes and violent winds were literally ripping apart buildings. And the thing is, look at some of these pictures there. You can barely even make out what used to stand. Look right there, for example. I mean, it's just, we see damage from Tornado Alley, but the thing about this is, I mean, it went from Oklahoma up through Arkansas and through Tennessee. Some of the worst damage we saw. Look at that laundromat right there, for example. It looks like Tennessee was one of the hardest hit areas. A town called Selmer saw some really dramatic images coming in as well. And my understanding is they're worried that death toll might go up. At least 4 people we know were killed in Missouri and Tennessee in the first wave of what unfortunately could be more destructive weather to come. So while those pictures come in, we did invite Crystal to come and join us. Hi, Crystal.
Yes, hi, guys.
Okay, so I think I saw a map of reported tornadoes in the dozens and dozens across all those states yesterday.
Yeah, so it's all reports at this point, and then they'll send out survey crews in different areas. So the National Weather Service is in charge of that to determine, A, if it was indeed a tornado that touched down, and B, what the strength of it was. Sometimes you'll get reports of the same tornado in an area. So, you get a report, and then 10 miles away, you get another report. It might have just been the same one that trekked that far. Right. So that's what they'll be looking at now. But the big concern, too, is that they're looking at more severe weather in the same general area today again.
How long do tornadoes typically last?
Well, that depends on the strength. Like, say, in our neck of the woods, a minute. They can be quick. But out there, it can be several minutes. It can be much longer. It really depends on the strength and the track. And when you hear those big wedge tornadoes, those things can have quite a duration to them.
Well, Ron, I don't know if you've seen it. Crystal and I were talking, I think it was a couple of days ago. There's a brand new show on Netflix about the big tornado that moved through Joplin. We were watching it the other night, and they actually had somebody who was in the middle of the tornado who had their phone on and was recording at the time.
Wow.
They were recording at the time, and they interviewed these people as they were playing that back for them so then they could hear what was going on. And what an ordeal. The guy had the phone in his pocket, was still had press record. And so you could hear all the audio from the wind whipping around, what it was like in the middle of the tornado. And for us here, I mean, I know we have microbursts and things like that in monsoon, but nothing quite like that.
Yeah, no kidding. And then, Crystal, now, I mean, the Weather Service is saying people need to prepare for more possible life-threatening weather over the next, I think, 3 days.
Yeah, so the Storm Prediction Center, which is based out of Oklahoma, but they do an analysis of severe weather threat across the country. And I have a map up if they want to pop that up. It's at some point my weather graphics here so you can see it. But they put out what's called a convective outlook, and that specifically is looking at the threat for, nasty weather, severe weather. And the area you see in brown stretches from far east parts of Texas and then through Arkansas and up into Tennessee. And that area is considered an enhanced risk. Now, if you look at the scale and compare it to the color, it's about a 3 out of 5, which doesn't sound like much, but even a 1 out of 5 when it comes from this department or this organization is a pretty good threat for bad storms. And specifically, they're saying the concern with this round is some large hail, some strong, longer duration tornadoes, and then damaging winds are typical with severe storms too.
The other thing then is you take a look at western Tennessee, and you think about as you kind of go across Tennessee and into the Carolinas, some of the damage that was already done from earlier storms. And I guess there's a real concern about floods in Tennessee and up in towards, say, like Paducah and that part of Kentucky.
Yeah, and you know what? We think back to, what was it, Helene, causing so much issues just last year in that same area. So they're used to getting severe weather. They're used to getting flooding storms, but every time it happens, it's hard to see. So that's something they'll be watching out for, like you said, next several days, severe weather. Typically, when we get a good storm, that area of low pressure ends up this time of year turning into severe storms that direction, especially a storm like we've been experiencing where it's bringing us snow, because that gives you a perspective. We were in the 90s last week. Yeah. So if we can have snow in the high country, that's a potent storm, and you've got a clash of two air masses. So once it gets into that moist atmosphere from the Gulf, you get the severe weather.
Okay. In fact, if we can do that, let's pull up our Arizona maps, because that's the other part of the story this morning. On the eastern half of the country, they are battening down the hatches. It looks like it could be trouble. But we have been seeing kind of some gentle snow and some gentle rain for the last 24 hours. It has been,
people in the chat box waking up this morning and they're like, I'm in Sedona, or I love the snow in Sedona. I love the snow in Flagstaff. It has been really, really nice in our higher elevations, and it's like winter It's
Yeah.
back, at least
Nice.
temporarily.
Crystal, let me just ask one quick question. Overall, does Celeste look like a mummy in this
It
shot?
looks like it's snowing
Wrong.
and you're in your snow chic right now.
Hold on, I'm going to hold my coffee with my pinky.
You know what?
What is a weekend?
Like a week ago, when I came in here, I thought, oh, I guess you can't wear a green dress in here. And now you put it to the test.
The shawl. The shawl is the
shawl,
answer.
yes.
Okay, so let's just talk about what we have seen and what we think we'll see for the rest of the day today.
Sure. So yesterday, of course, we had the snow and rain that moved through, especially the high country, but the valley did get some showers. They picked up 12 inches of snow up at Snowball, so it did pretty good for them the last round. Today and tomorrow are kind of repeats of this because we're having this 1-2 punch of storm systems. Today, we're in between the two systems, but we still have this unsettled pattern. Best chance is going to be for some scattered rain, snow showers northeast of the valley, so up in the high country. But I do think in the valley, about a 20-30% chance, especially the farther north you go, for a few showers to develop. Then tomorrow, it almost is a mirror image. Again, north and east will have the best chance for some scattered rain and snow showers, but the valley will have the potential. And then Saturday, that area of low pressure that we're tracking the second round starts to move off to the east. So really the eastern edge of the state is going to have the best chance for any kind of activity. But specifically for today, let's pull this up for you. Time slot in terms of when we might see a few, this would be spotty, so not everyone's getting it, but a few showers in Phoenix, about 1 to 5 p.m. And then for Flagstaff, a few rain flipping to like a melting snow and eventually a little bit of accumulating snow, 11 p.m. to 8, or 11 a.m., I should say, to 8 p.m.
I don't suppose, I'm going to pop up Sedona here. I don't suppose they're going to get any more snow. I just love the dusting
Oh, it's so
up
pretty
on
up there, right?
the tops of the mountains.
No, they could see a little dusting again as we head into late day or this evening, and then
Okay.
even potentially tomorrow. These are so scattered. So
Yes.
yesterday it was so fun. We were on air during the noon show, showed the Flagstaff camera. It's just coming down,
right.
beautiful snow globe. Like 10 minutes later, I went to talk to our producers about what to expect in the afternoon. Already the camera looked back to quiet, calm condition.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
on
why
and
it's,
off, on and off.
Well, that's why it's tough being the weather person in
I
Arizona.
know.
Absolutely.
All right, Crystal. Well, we love it when you pop in because
Always
you
fun.
always have
Yeah,
great
thank you,
stuff to
Crystal.
tell us. If you're looking for any good news, how about this? How about stocks are only down 1,200 now?
It was worse earlier.
It was 1,500. Ooh, my mic! I can finally hear myself. But anyway,
I can't hear myself at all. Oh,
Can
there
you not?
it is.
There you
What
are.
happened?
Yeah. And we're back. You hear that echo? I hear an echo. I don't
What
know if you
about
do.
me? Oh, yes, I
Oh,
do
yeah.
too.
Good. I don't know if you guys at home are hearing an echo, but we definitely are. I feel like I'm kind of down at Phantom Ranch in the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Is anyone
Anyway.
going to rescue us?
Hello. Hello. Okay, Celeste is asking you guys at home, are you hearing an echo? Because we are. Anyway, let's see. What are some of our guesses, Celeste? Let's
Well, we
see.
didn't have a
Oh,
whole lot of time for
right.
the mystery cam.
All right.
So, we do have Sherry Nevada Pup says California.
Okay. Nice. Wherever it is, I want to go explore it. First of all, it's probably a pretty substantial town because look at that freeway. 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes each way, maybe 5 each
Okay.
way. So it's not going to be a little town. Sometimes the way the camera is, it's shooting off into the distance. But boy, those mountains look pretty, don't
Yeah,
they?
no kidding. So we do have Louis Gonzalez in Jenswell says no echo. They're not hearing anything.
Okay.
But you're a pro, so you can wear your headphones. I would be incredibly distracted.
Oh,
So I found
okay.
a new place.
All right. All right. So let's see. I kind of like, South Carolina. Lisa kind of nailing it there. I think I'm going to go somewhere in the Carolinas. I'll go North Carolina.
okay.
Celeste, how about you?
I will go. What's the state north of North Carolina?
What is the state north of North Carolina? That is my beloved second home of Virginia.
I'm going to go
Celeste.
Virginia.
Hang on, I'm going to hit one more button here to see if this matters at all in terms of our echo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, still hearing it. Okay, but anyhow, here we go. Virginia or North Carolina or somewhere else. Here she is, everybody.
Oh, Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Oh, it's Tennessee.
Okay, so that's
I'm
I've
hearing
actually
the echo. That's why I'm wearing these
Yes.
headphones.
I've actually been to Franklin. I try to go to every community in
Oh.
America, so I have a story to share with you.
Okay. Any good restaurants?
Yeah, I think maybe we went to a Panera Bread there. That's a good restaurant.
They've got a good mac and cheese.
Correct. I mean, I don't know if you were looking for something fancy, Celeste, but that's not how I roll.
actually was looking for sometimes you go into those places, you'll find a local deli.
Yeah.
Like we were in North Carolina and we went in, I think we were in Greensboro, and we found this great deli that had the best Sammys. I
Oh,
could have
wow.
eaten 2 big sub roll sandwiches.
Wow.
They were so, I didn't
Okay.
because I didn't
Yeah.
want to be in a food coma, but it's so good. Some of those places are great.
Well, the thing about Franklin is it was actually the site of a major battle, one of the last battles of the Civil War. And so, you've got those hills around Tennessee. I'm assuming we're looking kind of toward the north. It's only about a 20-minute drive from there right up into Nashville itself, which is a great place to spend a little bit of time, that's for sure. Hey, speaking of great cities, how about this? Ready? Here we go.
Oh, I love the time lapse.
Look at that city.
Wow,
Who wouldn't
that's
want to live
great.
there and root for the Phoenix Suns at what we used to call the Footprint Center, now the PHX? We have had some of the best time lapses ever in the last, I'd say, month or two, Celeste,
Oh
with our
my
weather.
goodness.
Huh?
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. I just asked in the chat box, I said, do you consider 110? Here at Fox 10, we say 110, that's hot. 110 and above.
Right.
Anything lower than 110, we're like, okay, it's warmish.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting a lot of thumbs up on that
All right.
because I think people move here for the 105s or the 100s as summer
you?
summer
Okay.
temps, not
All
as
right.
spring or winter temps,
Okay.
but as summer.
Yep.
And it's not muggy. It's a dry heat, they say. Ron, have you heard that before? Did you
It's a
know we have
dry
a
heat?
dry heat here?
In 42 years of living here, I've never heard that, Celeste. Ha!
We learn something new every day.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we both love good time-lapse video, so we just share it with you when it comes in. So this is interesting, Celeste. There's an idea on the table to fix the Chase Field air conditioner.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. That seems like it would be a big job.
Huge. How many air conditioners do they have at the ballpark?
They got to have at least more than one unit up there.
Ron.
Right? I mean, a couple at least.
Your house has how many? 2, maybe?
2.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you have, most houses
Uh-huh.
have at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you
Right.
have to keep the place cool.
Right. And I have to admit, I went to a game there last season on 4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
and it was getting warm in there.
Did they have the roof closed?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
But the air conditioner was struggling to keep up, and I'm like, I could have just gone to the local sauna. And listen to the game on the radio or something. Anyway, they've been trying to figure out a way to get the repairs that they say they've been needing for a few years. Governor got on board yesterday in an interview with KTAR. The House has already passed a bill called 2704. It's working its way through the Senate, but there is controversy because the mayor of Phoenix, Kate Gallego, says she does not like this bill. That the money from the taxes at the ballpark, that's the idea that somebody came up with is,
Yes.
what if we just took the tax money from when you're buying something at the ballpark, whether it's a diamond dog or a shirt or
And
whatever,
use that.
and use that to then make these repairs. But she says, well, that would be money that otherwise is coming straight over to us at City Hall. We're just a few blocks away, and we want all that.
Well, think about the economic bump that we received in the city when they made it to the World Series a couple
that's
of years
true.
ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perk of living here. And we
we do
the
love our
D-backs.
D-backs. By
And
the
they
way,
may go somewhere else if we don't take care of them.
yeah, I know that's they're doing a good job of not out and out threatening that.
Yes.
But of course, it's got to be in the back of the minds of a lot of other cities. Salt Lake City is ready to go. They just stole our other team, our hockey team.
Yeah, the Coyotes.
You think they wouldn't want to get the Diamondbacks?
Keep your hands
Keep
clear.
your hands off our D-backs. But by the way, the D-backs we're hoping, going to sweep the New York Yankees today.
Well, and the Yankees have been using that crazy torpedo bat.
I know.
And so the idea was before the first game between the D-backs and the Yankees was
Right.
that, oh great, the
Here
Yankees are
comes
going to
the
be in, they're
torpedo
going to be
bats.
hitting all these home runs. Don't even.
We took care of business. Okay, and we were the ones with the big bats because we had a Grand Slam home run.
Yes.
And then yesterday we were beating them 4-zip, and they put some runs on the board in the 9th inning. It got a little tense, but we got out of that jam, and then one more chance today. But let's get back to this topic right now. More than 100 votes. What do you think? Should sales tax money from Chase Field be used to pay for repairs? It's our poll question. We'd love to have you guys vote in it. And so 70% are saying, actually, as long running as this is, and if you've been to a game, the air conditioner doesn't hardly work very well, it's a perfect solution on how to pay for the repairs. Just use sales tax money that's just generated at the ballpark itself. But 12% agree with the mayor, saying, no, the city should be able to spend that money however it wants on whatever programs. 7% say, how about a dollar surcharge on every ticket? Or maybe $2 surcharge.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, and I don't know if anybody's floating it around, but it just popped into my head, so I put it in the poll question. And then the other option is, I don't really care what they do, just don't let the D-backs leave town.
I think we need to see if the mayor really feels strongly about one way. Show me the data.
Okay.
Show me what else you would spend that money on
Right.
and how important that is to the city.
Yes.
Show me how much money we believe would be generated and why that's important to something else.
At first, I thought you were going to say, show me the money
Well,
instead of show me the data, but then that's Sun Devil Stadium.
that is Avi. Wrong.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
Yeah, if you ever remember that money, Jerry Maguire, the famous scene from Sun Devil Stadium.
And he was who was the Gooding Jr. Was he was playing
Cuba Gooding Jr.
He was playing
Yeah.
for the Cardinals in the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, how about that? Okay, a couple of other headlines to share with you. We're excited that Dolly Parton, who already owns a theme park and is beloved, and I don't know what her royalty checks are once a month when she walks out to the mailbox.
Yeah.
They got to be big. But now she's getting into the clothing business, and she's coming up with a line of jeans called the Jolenes.
I love it.
I
This
know.
is like so fabulous. And they're going to be bedazzled.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, they're going to
Okay.
be like, diamond studded on the pockets, back in the
Okay.
front.
Nice.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so great.
Yeah.
Dolly's fabulous.
She is fabulous. It's like she can do no wrong. I'm just reading this part. She's going to collab with Khloe Kardashian.
Oh.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably going to work really well. They're going to do it at Good American stores online and at some Nordstrom, but they'll probably end up going just about everywhere.
There is a great documentary about Dolly and her life
Ooh.
on Netflix, and she talks about how she believes in the power of female entrepreneurship. And
Oh,
how
yes.
she goes, I'm not a feminist.
Uh-huh.
She said, but I truly believe that women should be strong and be business
That's
owners. And,
right.
she shows that in how she lives.
I bet you she's the wealthiest business person in the state of Tennessee.
She might well
and
be.
yeah, she is.
It's so fun to. I just
who
remember
doesn't
as a
love
kid
her?
watching her. I remember on
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Just. So
Well,
full
hey,
of
one other music note. What was once lost has now been found, Celeste.
Oh.
Bruce Springsteen is unveiling the release of Tracks Volume 2. He's going to call it The Lost Albums. It's from a bunch of unreleased songs that were recently found that he recorded in the 1990s. The thing is, his music is so timeless. You can listen to a song from the 80s, like Dancing in the Dark,
Yeah.
or some of the others, and then listen to his songs of the last 10 years. His voice is still as strong as ever.
So
So I'm excited to find out about that. The album is supposed to hit the stores today.
Did you hear about the Beatles biopic? Speaking of music,
Yes,
Ron, I
excited
thought of
about
Ron on
that.
this, and in the chat box chime in. There's a lot of excitement. I think it's April of 2028.
Yeah,
But you being a radio guy,
right?
this is right up your alley.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I used to play the first song I ever bought was a song. It was a little 45 called "She Loves You." Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, one last
I
story
love
for you
it.
before we say our goodbyes, and it has to do with. Ready
Mhm.
for this, everybody? The escaped otters. It's a follow-up, Celeste.
Aw.
Remember when we first talked about this? They escaped from a zoo.
Oh my gosh, how
Eh,
cute!
yeah. And they had no idea, but eventually they did find them. Found one, the lady, the female, at the zoo in Wisconsin. Talk about leaving tracks for the pet detective to come and find you. This is exactly what was going on. We were laughing because it would have been pretty easy to look right there to track them down. The problem is Ophelia has been captured and returned, but not Louie. He's still on the loose. You want to know why, Celeste?
Why is that?
It's mating season.
Oh,
It was considered-
It's the spring.
It was considered cruel and unusual punishment to keep him locked up. So he's still out there on the loose.
My goodness. I just want to say a big welcome to Awatuki AZ Doctor. He found us today, and so he's hanging with us in the chat box and on the stream.
Okay.
We got new people every day.